Okay, YouTube, Serenity Prepper JT and Serenity Prepper TT back on. What we got now is Miss Tina is going to show you all how we roast our own beans, bake our own beans. We bought our own beans, and then we burn them inside and make our own coffee. We get all our beans on Amazon. Right now, Miss T's got a cup of Ethiopian. All the beans come green. And we've got our little multi-fuel cooker. That is a $14 popcorn maker that we are going to use to roast the beans. It has that little wire inside. I'm going to walk over and she'll flip half the lid.
Can't see. It's all
You might not be able to see because there's oil from our previous cooking, but there's a wire that runs across the bottom. We're going to dump in the beans now because we preheated for only a couple minutes. Okay, now the beans cook fast, so what you're going to hear is the sound of stirring, but within a minute or two you'll hear what sounds like popcorn popping. That is the beans cracking. Everybody who roasts their own coffee beans, there's a first crack and a second crack. That will determine the strength of the coffee. First crack, they're normally light brown to dark brown, depending on your particular brand. And the second crack, they're going to be much darker. It'll be a dark roast. A little stronger, probably a little more bitter. We like to get 2 or 3 different kinds, and we'll mix and match occasionally, burn them together. We have found from our experiences, we ground the first few batches we made, and the coffee was kind of weak. If you've ever noticed with a coffee grinder, the inside of the grinder is filled with oil. Well, that's your coffee flavor. So when we switched to a burn machine, our coffee's taste improved dramatically because the beans aren't being shredded. There's no blades. All the beans after a burn machine kind of look like Folgers crystals. They kind of have a shiny side because they're just being rubbed as they're broken up. Much better taste, much better flavor. We will roast beans and we won't burn them all. We'll freeze some bags and then we'll take them out and burn them as needed. I wish you guys could smell this, but we don't have smell-o-vision here at Serenity Farms.
starting pop.
We only have television. So, and we never clean out the can cooker. 1, it would probably be impossible. And 2, it just smells wonderful. If I shut up for a second, you may be able to hear the cracking that's beginning. So, the first time we got beans, I have a wood cook stove. We figured we'd just put them on a cookie sheet, throw them in the oven of the wood cook stove, wait until it sounded like most of them had cracked, and then pull the cookie sheet out and cool the beans. Not knowing, having never ever roasted coffee beans, that if you can see the smoke coming off there, well, that's escaping because we're outside. We opened the door to the wood stove oven and I filled my cabin with a wonderfully smelling but white cloud of oil that hung out with us for a few hours. Lesson learned. Don't do it inside. Besides, we made our little fire video. We're sitting out here with some adult beverages. It's about 38 degrees in the frozen tundra of northern New York today. It's beautiful out. So we always make the beans outside. We get dressed up. We really don't care how cold it is. They're really popping now. If it was Jiffy Pop, it'd be just about ready to go. We will, in a couple minutes, take this pan, dump it onto a cookie sheet, evenly spread them out, and then just set the cookie sheet in the snowbank. It's recommended to chill the beans as quick as possible. That way they kind of close up, for lack of a better word, and their flavor will be retained because they're no longer cooking. Oh, I really wish you guys could smell this, but we're gonna hog it all. If you've ever driven by a local coffee shop and you get that smell and you weren't even sure that you're driven by a coffee shop coming out their smokestacks, that's exactly what we have going here. And it's pretty strong today because I put a sheet of plastic on the gazebo here so the wind wouldn't knock our flame out all the time. Oh, the cracking, as you can hear, is quite rapid. You're always going to get a couple that are doing a second crack based on how soon you stir it, and just some of the beans crack twice before others crack once. Not a big deal. You will roast them. The average time is about 7 minutes, and then you're going to start a second crack. It'll kind of chill out for a minute, and then it picks back up again, and that's when you know that it's probably done. You can look in the color of the bean. It's pretty brown. You're good to go first crack. If they start turning black, you know that you've made it. Okay, we're going to transfer to a cookie sheet. Oh, I've eaten them like that. I've chewed them. Pretty wonderful. They're pretty dark. She's just going to set them in the snowbank because that's 1 cup, 1 measuring cup. We'll just let them sit there while we start another. Those are pretty dark, but the Ethiopian beans tend to do that. So that is how it's done right there. We are reloading with a second cup, but it's going to be pretty much the same as the first cup. So we're not going to bore you with watching that again. So for now, JT Serenity Prepper and Miss T Serenity Prepper signing out.